When you hear the word archaeology, what comes to mind? Do you think of searching for lost treasures and traveling to exotic locales?
This is an extreme weather alert.
Speeds increasing. Find shelter now. Repeat, find shelter and stay off the roads at all costs.
Category 5.
Yeah, crossing the road!
You'll learn what extreme weather is, what it's not, what causes it, and how to survive. I'll tell you how to keep yourself safe.
We all get scared of different things. Fear is so important for our survival that we do something absolutely remarkable. At the first hint of danger, early warning signals are sent to the brain via the optic nerve to our tiny primitive fear center.
The Sea of Cortez is the Humboldt squid's breeding ground. Intelligent, aggressive, and dangerous.
They're actual eaters of men. They will take you.
Scott attaches the camera mount to a fleshy part of the squid's fin, like piercing an ear, and threads it through.
So what we have right there is the beating heart of a giant Humboldt squid.
Cells must be viewed under a microscope. They're essentially a small container of chemicals and water. Cells vary greatly and can perform many different functions.
The detonation traveled 4,000 feet through the shock tube, reaching the barrel bomb in less than 1 second. Rolling at 10,000 frames per second, our ultra-high-speed Phantom 7 cameras track its progress. They actually show the pressure wave distorting the air, the changing shapes of the smoke, and the wind hitting the mannequin at 2,000 miles per hour.
In robotics, you'll dive into the exciting world of man-made machines, examining their origins, their current use, and how they are shaping our future. Your host to this fascinating world is evolutionary and biorobotics professor John Long.
What we do is bring a lot of specific examples into the laboratory, so by the time you're done, you have concrete and theoretical examples to understand.
For millennia, humanity has wanted to reach into the heavens, to fly above the planet. We have seen this in numerous instances throughout our history, in Greek mythology.
This is where some of the structure of the aircraft has moved internally, but some of the structure moves into a metal skin. That is, instead of covering the plane with a non-structural skin made of fabric that merely reduced wind resistance, aluminum skins also carried some of the stress load.
And to avoid having disposable spacecraft. And so the wings are another indicator of that, because the spacecraft had wings and could glide safely to a landing on Earth. It could be serviced on the ground.
The Wright brothers were far more than simple bicycle makers, as they're sometimes portrayed. They were intuitive engineering geniuses.
In 2001, researchers received notice of a North Atlantic right whale swimming close to Cape Cod on the eastern seaboard of the United States. The animal was clearly impeded by fishing gear that was...
In the most inhospitable places on the planet, species face a continual battle for survival. Making up a third of the planet's land, the desert is one of the most extreme environments on Earth.
Teeth. How are they shaped? How would those teeth pierce through flesh? Look at those jaws. How do those arms operate? How deeply could those claws penetrate?
October 2005, the Lawrence M. Gould, a U.S. government research vessel, cruised down the western Antarctic Peninsula. The steel-reinforced hull of the Gould sliced through the ice. I saw that the underside of the frozen ocean was actually a light brown color.
Tower, this is TGC Avenger, Flight 928 Delta.
Roger, 928 Delta. Clear for LSP departure on frequency 12813.
Captain, Alpha 1 LS system check.
Copy Tower, TGC 928, clear for launch. In 5, 3, 2, 1.
Captain, 128 Mark 4 check.
The Cassini probe orbiting Saturn has captured spectacular up-close images of the ringed planet. Rovers are exploring the surface history of a planet that may have once been similar to Earth.
We've got a retro aero generator that's nearly faded from the history books. The inventor claims it can power an entire house. We're bringing this futuristic invention back with modern technology and innovation.
Sometimes you get the bear, and sometimes the bear gets you.
The Royal Scientific Society is the largest applied research institution and technical symposium. We've been at the forefront of Jordanian renewable energy with countrywide windmills.
Don't forget, communication is vital.
I'll be facilitating the meeting from San Francisco.
Which means the number of photons that can fall on any planet. So one possibility that's a little more realistic is something called a gravity tractor.
It weighs 15 metric tons on Earth. How much work is done in propelling the module to a height of, say, 800 miles above Earth?
With the common elements silicon, aluminum, magnesium, iron, calcium, and of course oxygen.
If you whipped out a protractor and measured the angle of the full moon on the sky.
One collection of molecules becomes two becomes four, doubling again and again in geometric expansion.
It scatters off the atmosphere, and that leads to a blurring of the incoming starlight.
And all those 100,000 stars for tiny dips in light intensity.
And rotated about the axis X equals.
If you look at the periodic table of the elements, you see that elements 2, 10, and 18 are found in the...
We can detect what type of molecules.
Red shifts or blue shifts, depending on whether the star is warm. What's more, the sun and most of the planets rotate on their axis in more or less that same plane and in the same...
The orbit of the Earth is on a slightly different plane.
And they were discovered by Galileo a little over 400 years ago. Galileo was the first person to construct
black, through gray, blue, and red, and icy white, and ultimate...
We children are born to sin!